Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Kaiser here. Today's video is my showcase of how I reached Dragon 2 on day 3 of Epic Era. As you can see currently I am rank 2800. I haven't started yet today. This was recorded about half an hour before reset. So it's just me showing you what I did during Red Era. I ended up about top 4k, below top 4k. And it I'm guaranteed 636 MAXS. Currently I am in top 3k for Epic Era. Hopefully I can climb higher or at least maintain this rank. And yeah, okay. I'm currently in Dragon 2. Let's go over the team. If you notice, my team is really different this time. Let's start with our backline. Our backline is still the same. My backline is still the same. It just has Glorious Main. Glorious Main's effect is my attacks do not give me any energy fragment. But whenever I hit at 10% base attack, and it's amazing on triple nut. So my nutcrackers, when they get hit, when I hit someone with Glorious Main Rune active, it gets plus 10 and then plus 10%. So effectively 16 damage boost every time I hit, and it scales based on percentage. So if you can see here, if you've already seen my AXIE before, Hams is the best guy in the world. The Raging Daggers is new because we get that during the news during this season, where we can upgrade our starter AXIEs and get it as rewards. So you get it if you upgrade Boob. You're gonna get 2 Raging Daggers maximum. I wish there was 3. I really wish there was 3, but it's alright. To promote Booba, I need a lot of medals, but I don't feel like promoting him for now. I feel like promoting Trip. Maybe he can help me with my Glorious Main, because I think Nut Hunter and Glorious Main have really good synergy. Not sure yet. I have yet to test it. But you can immediately test everything you want to test in esports mode. So just go crazy. Go to esports mode and knock yourself out with your testing, because you always should test your runes and charms before buying them. That way you don't waste unnecessarily when you come to purchase. But if you do, please use code CAISERFYN. No support. Anyways, I'm gonna use Glorious Main in esports mode to test also. From time to time I test out with my friends to see if it works. And so far my current team works like a charm at the rank I'm at. Now let's look at the Dawn. I have Heaven's Echoes, and if I attack, all of my allies hit for additional 20% extra damage. But if I play a skill, all my allies get 20 shield per skill used. And this is amazing because it combos well with Innocent Lamp and Confident. Little Piece is amazing because it sets up the next hit to be really painful, and I put Lens of Revelation because I really hate sustain. Babylonia is therefore additional vulnerable. Actually, Babylonia and Trifeather are considered filler moves because I don't have the budget to go really deep into this team, but it's alright. The ideal team is to have the Dawn with Imp and Ronin, but it's okay. The Aqua has Calcium Armor. Why? I'll get to it in a moment. Calcium Armor goes really well with Square Teeth. Garo helps to apply Fragile because I really hate sustain. Square Teeth is amazing because it deals damage based on the shield I have, and it eats up the shield. So if I start the turn with 40 shield, Heaven's Echoes is gonna pump the shield up by a lot. Every time I use Confident, every time I use Innocent Lamb, it goes up by 20. And Square Teeth eats up all of the shield I have and deals one massive blow on my opponent, especially if my opponent has Vulnerable. Wow, so good. Larva, Eggshell, and Ronin are filler moves because I don't really have the budget, but Carrot is there for energy ramp. Ronin is there for damage, and I'm quite happy even though it's a filler move. It is so good right now because my team really lacks the damage. Too much zero cost is actually bad, guys. So Carrot is my replacement for Goldfish. Goldfish is the better alternative, but man, it's so expensive to get a Goldfish. So I just settled with this, and it's pretty good. He does really well so far for me. I think I could do better, but I need better runes and charms, and currently we don't have any because we're still in. Yeah, okay, let's get into our first game. We are doing a live game, but I'm just editing it so it looks cooler and faster and more quick. If you notice, I set up the vulnerable for the damage with the Square Teeth, and that makes it very painful on turn 1. AoE is my opponent, and AoE is actually my good matchup as long as I can structure my moves properly. You notice if I use one skill and I use a second skill, the shield goes up by 40. Pretty cool. This helps me keep my HP more than 50%. Why is that key? Because I do not want to be taken down by a winghorn. Winghorns are really powerful, especially if they get to trigger and get feather daggers to their hands. So I immediately use my puppy, no questions asked, followed by a Babylonia into a Ronin. If you notice, the damage is really high because Babylonia applies vulnerable and Ronin deals damage based on how much energy was used. But couple that with Heaven's Echo's 20% boost, vulnerable 20% boost, and the Ronin's own effect, it scales really well. So I'm gonna use the Confident first into probably a Garrow? Yeah, Garrow too. And then I'll just follow up with my attacks. That's what's my top two? Okay, I need this. The reason why I need my beast moves because each beast move counts towards scaling of the damage, which comes with Glorious Mean. I want to keep my backline beast as alive as long as possible, so that each of its hits is really painful. So if I can keep him alive longer, it's better. I'm gonna nut first, double nut here. Why? Why don't I use the vulnerable? Yes, I could use the vulnerable and make my damage higher, but I want to set it up so that next turn I hit like a truck. And I think it's working. And if you notice, he cannot really use Winghorn because my HP is above 200. And that's advantageous for me. So I'm just going to use Confident, cleanse myself first into a Babylonia and a Blue Moon. Hopefully to draw Puppy. Do I draw Puppy? No, I don't. If I draw Puppy, I would enter Rage, and that's even better. But it's okay, Imp can end the game. Let's go into our second live game. Always go second, guys. Do not take the risk. Just go second until it doesn't work for you, and then figure it out on a case-by-case basis, which is better, going first or second. For this one, I could have chosen Babylonia. I really could. But I want to start ramping up my damage, so I'm not sure what the right choice is. I think I'll test out a few more iterations on my first turn. Going first is really bad, guys. Try not to go first. Okay, Larva showed me two moves from the base. I want to keep them. Both are good. As long as they are beast moves, I want to keep it for my backline to start scaling up the glorious main damage. Looks like my opponent is building up lots and lots of feathers. So we're getting into dangerous territory because this is the point where I call it the point of no return. I cannot cleanse their feathers away already, but I still deal quite heavy damage. Square Thief is gonna kill the guy in front. Alright, I was just checking my draw pile to see whether I need to keep. I think I need to keep my Blue Moon because I noticed my draw pile has lots of zero cost. You need to learn when to keep and when to not keep. Usually keeping is good if you know that you're not going to draw enough bullets to shoot your enemy in the next turn. So always hold bullets. You need at least 3 as long as you know that you have energy. I led with Tri-Feather because I need to attack first for the 20% boost, hence the 100 damage. And then, oh, I drew into the Innocent. I'm confident. That's pretty good. Gives me shield. Gives me above 200 HP. I could go with Imp and I'll keep the Ronin for next turn. And if you notice, I used Cottontail even though I didn't have 7 energy. Why did I do that? Because I need the shield. I desperately need the shield. My opponent has a leech. It's gonna take away some of my shield. I need to be alive so that I don't get hit by a Winghorn. I desperately don't want to get hit by a Winghorn. Actually, now I do want to get hit, but he's not going to use it. And we are still in the first 3 days, therefore they do not have purchasing power. They cannot buy anything to upgrade their team. So we are fighting raw right now. We're fighting with whatever we crafted from our runes and charms. And it looks pretty good, actually. Pretty good for me right now. Everything's going according to plan. As long as he doesn't get any crazy draws, I'm gonna be okay. And my opponent put an emote. My favorite emotes right now is the cool and the sorry because it animates. Especially this little dude, he puts on his glasses and it says cool. I like it. Winghorn now is effective, it's online, but it's online pretty late if you notice. It's very late. Late is good. Late is always good for me. Will he kill off my guy? He has 6, you know. I know he has 6. If a person can shoot 5 feather daggers, you know they have one more in their hand. Because it always comes in pairs. Why wouldn't he kill my front line? I don't understand. Maybe he wants more feathers? Yeah, I want from that, definitely. Let me show you a game of me fighting against Topaz. Topaz is the top meta deck right now. It's not Glorious Main. Glorious Main just started. Topaz is the top meta deck. How it works is that it has Timber to get lots and lots of shield, which is 0 cost. Each shield used will banish, and when the banish hits 10, Topaz hits like a truck. And they have 3 Topazes in their deck. And every other card in their deck banishes. Innocent Lamb banishes, Nemo finds another Nemo to banish, and the cycle continues. And with common pliers, which you can get from Trip, it makes Topaz even more painful. And they have Roni in the back line. So it's really painful. I do not want to go first against them. That's why I won the rock, paper, scissors and I went second, which is fantastic for me. So if you notice, I used the Innocent Lamb into a Confident, which gives me a lot of shield. Then I Garrowed into a Nutcracker into a Square Thief. Really good sequencing. That's the sequence I want if I were to fight against them. And against Topaz, you don't really want to care about defending, you just want to go full blast damage. You want to hit them as hard as possible before they hit 4 energy per turn. Because once they hit 4 energy per turn, that is where Topaz really shines. I have no idea why. Whenever they hit 4 energy per turn, I'm almost always just dead. I don't want that to happen. I need to win in the mid game, not the late game. I kept the Tri-Feather because I want to get the damage boost from from the Heaven's Echoes. Even though it's not the best attack, it's still an attack, so it's good to keep. And because I'm using Glorious Main, my goal isn't to hit 4 energy, so I can be a bit trigger happy with keeping cards. First things first, Puppy, and then Confident on my back line, which gives more shield. I led with Babylonia because that's always lead with Babylonia. It's so good. I could have led with Tri-Feather, but there's no accuracy. I could miss on the front line. I need the front line to die. We are approaching the mid game. He has about 2 cards banished, which is very good news for me because the lesser cards in banished pile, the less painful Topaz is. But we are getting there actually. He's getting up. 10 is the sweet spot. If he hits 10, it's game over for me if he draws Topaz. And look at that, he already has 5 in his banish and Topaz is dealing 100 per hit. That's insane. I'm gonna cleanse my guy at the back. I'm gonna lead with Vulnerable into Nut. If you notice 184, yeah, pretty sweet. Into a Ronin. Really good. And that can only happen because of Heaven's Echoes, guys. It's not because of Glorious Main. Glorious Main usually needs longer to set up to get that much damage. But because of Heaven's Echoes, I could bring the future into the present. I could borrow damage from the future. Something like that. It doesn't last. I need to keep it up. Therefore, I have to be really precise of how I do things. Here, I chose to draw a card because if I get a puppy, which I did, I win the game. And that was lucky for me. I got lucky for that. Maybe I got lucky from the rock, paper, scissors, which led to a string of coincidences which got me the win. Here is a game of me against Sustain. And if you notice, this team is playing one of the strongest Sustain teams you can ever find in the meta. At my current level, I'm at Dragon 3 to Dragon 2. So these are the teams I face. And if you are higher than me, then I'm not sure if there's anything you can learn. But if you're lower than me, there's so many things you can learn because you can get up to my level if you just notice. Sustain teams, if you want to fight them, you need to be able to handle the fact that they're going to go late game. If you cannot handle the fact that they're going to go late game, you need to be able to kill the adaptive program AXIE. That AXIE has to die. I don't know how you do it, just get it done. Get the job done, your life will be much easier after that. If you manage to set up tassels, or if you manage to reach 4 energy per turn, you are in really deep trouble because you might not even be able to have enough damage to penetrate the shield. He's going to get his Indian star up to 100%, and when he does, it's game over for you. It's not game over when he has Tiny Fan available, even though it looks like Tiny Fan is the threat. No, it's not. It's game over for you when his shield for Indian Star is 100%. Or it's game over for you when he hits 4 energy. Those two things. You need to be able to deal so much damage to him that even when he reaches 4 energy or when he reaches full stacks on Tassel, that he's already dying. You want that to be happening. You do not want him to have full health and he has full tassels stack and he has 4 energy. Might as well just surrender and go to your next game. Save time. Time is money. Anyways, so this is my game plan in general. I'm using Glorious main and my old strategy was to get to 4 energy as well so I can keep energy parity with my opponent. But because I'm on Glorious main now, I cannot do that. I have to find other ways to do it. So one of my ways to do it is to get into Rage mode, which I got lucky with. This one I got really lucky. If not, I have no idea how to beat this guy. Twin Tail is so busted because if I hit him, one of my cards disappeared. And it could be an attack card. And it's not like I have good card draw to begin with. But because of the kill on the middle guy, the mid line, the adaptive program guy is gone, suddenly my life is so much easier. And I guess he felt it too, but he still feels he has a winning chance because if he can get 5 energy, he'll be able to use Tiny Fan and that he might be able to regain control of the game. For now, he's just shielding up his AXIE like crazy because currently he's at 4 energy. And look at that shield, 291. So crazy. Thank God I have Babylonia. Without Vulnerable, I have no idea how to break this guy's shield. And with the scaling from Glorious main, I'm able to overcome the shield as well. Also thanks to my Relance of Revelation, without it I cannot pierce any of the secrets and I'll end up discarding cards, taking damage, making my opponents draw cards if they have Pumpkin, and all that jazz. So currently I'm just trying to spam as much attacks as I can, but okay, here I made a mistake. I think I should have just used Garrow so that he doesn't shield up that much, but I think in the moment I wanted to give him more vulnerable so he couldn't cleanse. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if it is a genuine mistake. I still have more testing to do regarding that. So here I think I have the win because I have enough damage to just overpower him and overwhelm him. And yeah, that's it. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's been reset. Let's just claim our daily ancient root. I don't have any use for that. Let us watch one final game. This is against Sleepy Poison. Sleepy Poison is a regular poison team with Potato Leaf. And Potato Leaf means that it is very hard to take them down, especially if you do not know who you're dealing with and how their MO is, the way they work. So I'm gonna start with a usual 1-2 punch, especially with Scrap Thief. Scrap Thief is amazing. Their goal is to stun lock you by using sleep. Technically, they function like a Terminator team with poison. So they give you stun and they put you on a clock. And if you cannot beat them before the time runs out, you die. You don't have enough life to live around that stun. You cannot just pray and go to Blood Moon and then, try to draw it out with them. No, they're not gonna let you draw it out. They're gonna keep applying stun pressure on you and also give you poison. So my goal against them is to cleanse as aggressively as possible, at the same time to be as aggressive as possible. If you notice, I could have used Blue Moon to draw a card. I could have used Carrot to get energy, but I wanted to run my damage, so I just used Nut. Nut is the best. All 3 nuts. Because they gain so much stats from Glorious Main. By the way, this team is only possible with Glorious Main. Without Glorious Main, I have to use a different strategy. I think this team is fine with Reckless Hunter, but I didn't get Reckless Hunter when I crafted, so we'll have to do with just Glorious Main, and that's a really good compromise compared to Reckless Hunter. Again, if Glorious Main is really expensive, I might just sell it and rebuy it back later. Because after all, my goal of AXIE is literally just to craft runes and charm, sell it, and get some profit. But if I could win in the leaderboard and dominate while I do so, hey, why not? Look at that, 126. It's still pretty crazy if you ask me. 126 from a zero cost is very good. Looks like my opponent's running out of options. So I did that first so that I can use Larva to clear the sleep. Zero costs are really good at clearing sleep. And if you have zero costs which can retain, then it's pretty cool also. But it's a case by case basis. Not always you want to use a zero cost to get rid of sleep. Sometimes if you can cleanse it away, just cleanse it away, you know? Don't waste cards. So here, if you notice, I didn't cleanse away my sleep. I had to use a card, which is very wasteful. But because I was at 9 rage, I was able to somehow get cash back. Now let me quickly show you my approach, because I cannot beat Jinx. If I face Jinx, it's an auto lose for me. So my way to deal with Jinx is to have a Cattail AXIE with Lotus and Leaf Cloak, which I don't have. I have to craft it first. But Lotus helps me get rid of curses, so against Jinx, I think I have a fighting chance. This team would make my team more mid-rangey because I don't have the damage from the Aqua, but at least I'll be able to survive Jinx. This is my way of fighting against Jinx if I face more of it in the future. And I guess that is it for today's showcase for my Dragon team. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, you can always ask me in the Malaysia chat. Take care.